Oh, hello. I didn't see you there. I was busy reading the Book of Satoshi. Welcome
Hi,
to the
Thomas.
Bitcoin Talk
What's
Show.
going on?
Hey, Derek. How's it going? It's another
Oh,
Wednesday.
okay.
Ready for Bitcoin Talk Show. Stop my record.
Yeah, you can call into this show, Thomas. You could do it through a phone at 708-23 coins. That's 708-232-6467. And people who are watching this probably are at a computer or have Skype, and they could Skype into the show and sound way better than using a phone. Bitcoin Talk Show. Just send a contact request. It will be accepted, and then you can dial into the show.
So they can Skype in, they can call in, and they can ask questions through the Google Q&A on the sidebar. It's all available to them.
That's right, and we're chatting with all of you simultaneously. I've got my chat windows open on Skype's Bitcoin Talk Show. This is also broadcasting at BitcoinTalkShow.com, so if you want a nice, easy place to send people to so that they can share the show, BitcoinTalkShow.com, we are live. But this show isn't about us, it's about you, so call in, get interactive. We'll share some news stories of the stuff that's interesting to us this week in the world of Bitcoin. I know, Thomas, you have some stuff you want to share first off the bat.
Starting off, I didn't get a chance to do Mad Bitcoins this morning, so I want to make up for it and do a little news. BitPay offers unlimited payment processing, free forever. Derek, what do you think about that?
That's how it should be. It was just a matter of time. Like, I remember when we started out talking about, oh, BitPay and all these places are charging like 4%, or, we were like, it's outrageous, 3.9% or something. Like, why would they charge anything at all? They don't have to. And the reality is they needed to charge a little bit of money at the beginning because they needed to invest in the idea, invest in the company, invest in their employees, their training, their buildings, all the things that they need money for. They had to charge for that at the beginning. They were smart about it, did it right. Tony Galippi, educated guy, and ran his business well. I'm very happy that BitPay can now finally provide this service for free forever.
And it's a great selling point if you're trying to sell a business on Bitcoin. You don't have to say they take a little fee, it's like the credit card companies. Now you can say BitPay takes no fees, they convert all your money into fiat at the end of the day, you never have any transaction risk, you don't have to use the credit card companies anymore, and as you can see from their webpage, they still are, trying to make some money. If you want telephone support, you have to pay $300 every 30 days. So $300 a month if you're a big business and you think that you're going to have problems with BitPay or Bitcoin in general and you want telephone support, you can get that option. They have a third option for enterprises, presumably very large businesses, and that's great. The smaller businesses, the ones that we're going to be talking to, the cafes, the restaurants, the pizza places, they now can use BitPay, which is a complicated system, has a one of those really cool tablet apps. You can just put how much you want them to pay, makes a QR code, you hold it up, sends it to your money. And the main competitive advantage that BitPay has had is this ability to convert instantly into fiat, which I know Coinbase has as well, but I think BitPay had it first or something. So Coinbase, it's time to go feeless, and I don't know if they're ready for that. Derek, what do you think about the BitPay versus Coinbase battle that's kind of going on?
Well, this is like the equivalent of drawing first blood. Reducing your rates to nothing. That's death to your competitor. I mean, if they don't move on this, Coinbase is going to be severely lacking. I imagine they're going to have to build up in other ways. Like what BitPay is doing here is saying most of our time, our effort and energy is being spent on helping customers over the phone, which is why they're saying, hey, you could still pay for over the phone help.
Yeah.
Like of course we're going to do the technology stuff for free. It's built right into the tech. You can automate all of this, but you can't automate answering people's questions quickly.
And they do still offer email support for free. So they're not completely abandoning the free section, but if you want to talk to them on the phone, you pay $300 a month. It's not that bad.
Yeah, if you want a human, you got to pay for a human. Everything else can be automated. I think that's the bottom line.
And I just
Very
think this
cool,
is a
though.
really, really impressive move by BitPay. Recently, we kind of thought that Coinbase was beating them on merchant adoption. Coinbase had Dell, some of the other large fish were going through Coinbase. And I'd heard a lot of rumbles that BitPay was going to sit back and kind of focus on their payroll software, which I agree could be a completely new category of business to take down with the Bitcoin, is the paychecks, the automated payrolls. There's really no reason that couldn't be done in Bitcoin. And I think BitPay would say the same.
Yeah, I agree. I'm curious to see, like, most of these companies have blogs, right? So, did they start to have like a blog war? What's Coinbase talking about?
I don't know. I know
This,
Coinbase's newest feature is the Vault, which is a
right.
very cool feature that, alas, is too late for so many of my friends who have already been stolen from, even directly from Coinbase. So again, Coinbase, I know you don't take legal responsibility for this, but their Bitcoin blood is on your hands. The Vault system allows you to lock your Bitcoins for 48 hours. If you want to move them after the 48-hour period, you have to put in a code from 2 different email addresses. So it's just another step of complexity. It's not quite all the way there. I mean, maybe they could throw in another password or something. It seems like they're starting to realize that some people put Bitcoin into Coinbase and they want it to stay there. I'd like to see a vault system where you could lock it for a year or maybe 6 months. I mean, a real vault. Although I guess that just means the hackers can steal it from you in 6 months. So.
Yeah, there's always that danger. I think the 6 months, though, could be a good amount of time for people to learn security on their own. They just want to have a temporary vault or something. Although, wait, how permanent is that vault anyway? I haven't had any interest in using it, frankly. But
No,
it's probably
none of
something.
those. I don't know. I had the idea I might offer my own vault service if I got a safe deposit box. I could get a bunch of envelopes of people's, encrypted private keys with the, self-addressed stamped envelope with your Bitcoin wallet inside, passworded and everything. And I would just stick them in a vault for a year, and then at the end of the year, I would mail them back out to everyone. Uh,
Yeah, it's
some
kind of
kind of
cool.
service like that. Yeah, I mean, just to anything to sell the idea that people need to get to paper offline wallets. If your Bitcoins are online, that means you have a hot wallet and you might not even control your keys. And if you have a hot wallet and you don't control your keys, it's only a split second away from a hacker coming along, controlling your keys, and emptying your wallet. They never leave anything. The hackers are never like, oh, you've got 30 Bitcoins, I'm only going to take 29. They always take all 30 Bitcoins. The hackers are relentless in this standard of taking all Bitcoins. So be on alert. Get some paper wallets, piperwalletprinter.com, or watch one of the Mad Bitcoins how to print paper wallet videos. So.
Those are very good videos. I watched them recently. Also, please look up anonymousbitcoinbook.com. Our very own Christoph Atlas wrote a brilliant security book about anonymity and Bitcoin and how it pertains to you. So if you're interested in securing your Bitcoins offline, hey, check it out, anonymousbitcoinbook.com.
Now it looks like just looking at these companies' blogs, I think it's time to break some more news because according to the Coinbase blog, it says that the Wikimedia Foundation partners with Coinbase to accept Bitcoin for donations. They're now offering 0% processing fees for nonprofits. So that's
Oh, they did. They did go there. They had to, right? We were just saying this. Like, if one steps in that direction, the other has to. Like immediately. They must have had plans for this already.
Yep. Well, the 0% for nonprofits, they're not quite matching the BitPay offering, but yes, it's definitely accelerating. And the really exciting news, I think it believes with Wikimedia on board that Wikipedia will accept Bitcoin donations. So maybe one of the Bitcoin rich can just take care of that banner graphic that keeps coming up with Jimmy Wales. He needs money. Well, how about we all give him $1 from our phones and take care of this problem? I look forward to the next article, which will be Wikipedia collects, millions of dollars in Bitcoin. I don't know. Guess a number. It'll be up there.
Yeah, It is. It is good. Well, okay. So Wikimedia, is that just a branch of Wikipedia? What's the story there, or does that
It's not
Wikipedia?
entirely clear. It says the Wikimedia Foundation is a non-profit organization that distributes blah blah blah, including Wikipedia. So I
Oh, okay.
believe
So
that
that's like where Wikipedia gets their money.
yeah. So it should be the parent company. I know that Wikipedia has different types of websites, and they manage all of them. So it's a very cool company, and it's only a matter of time, I'm sure, before Wikipedia officially directly accepts Bitcoin, and they'll do it through Coinbase. But let's check out the BitPay blog, see the competitors here, the apple to their orange. And of course, they've got the new fee plan as their first blog entry, and below that, they've got Bitcoin for campaign donations. And they're also saying that Bitcore 3000 is 3 times faster at Bitcoin for the web. Help your friends get bits on Facebook with BitPay having a simple solution called Get Bits.
Hey, what's Bitcore 3000?
Bitcore 3000. It says it's BitPay's open source JavaScript Bitcoin library.
Hmm.
So I guess
So does it help developers build Bitcoin into their web pages?
I would think so. It says how do you put Bitcoin on your web page? It doesn't say specifically.
Oh, cool! It's got code. Copy paste. Throw it in.
You can test something. I don't know. It's a little over my head, but it's good stuff. Ryan X Charles, seen him around on the Twitter, I think. But
Yeah.
good stuff.
There's
And
another important update that happened today. I don't know if you want to break this one or should I?
go ahead. What's going on today?
Well, I got an email from Gift, and it sent me to a recent blog post that they posted today. Hi, Gift community. I'm excited to announce that First Data, the global leader in payment technology and services solutions, has reached an agreement to acquire Gift. Hooray! We are thrilled because this partnership will enable Gift to power forward in the digital gifting space. For nearly 20 years, First Data has provided gift card programs to tens of thousands of merchants, and you will soon reap the benefits of their innovation and expanded reach. I think basically what that paragraph means is we were acquired by a bigger company. This is good because we've been working hard for a long time, and now we get to relax, and they have big reach. So, like, we get a lot more access to gift cards now, and we get to put Bitcoin on all of them. So, yay.
That's great news, Eric. It's a big news day today. And I definitely think we're entering into a new phase of Bitcoin, and I'm going to go ahead and call it. This is the mergers and acquisitions period. Get ready for some major mergers and acquisitions. Of course, you all heard a couple days ago that Moolah.io is acquiring MintPal, the troubled Bitcoin exchange that recently had trouble with Vericoin and in the past had trouble with other coins. And MintPal acquired. So I think more and more Bitcoin companies are going to be acquired by other Bitcoin companies. So.
Which is great because we're seeing like all the people scatter. They're like, I want to do something in the Bitcoin space. Like, I'm going to do something. I don't know what it is. And then they try something and it either succeeds or fails. The successes buy out the failures, make them successes. It's like the economy is growing. Bitcoin is making a new world possible. It's so exciting.
If you're a business out there and you want to get into Bitcoin, what better way than buying a small Bitcoin business? I'm sure PayPal is probably wishing they bought BitPay months ago, or Coinbase. There's no reason to let these small fish, relatively compared to the size of like Twitter or PayPal, things like that, Facebook, Google. These are the companies that need to be acquiring some of these larger companies and just, filling them full of cash and brains. More cash, more brains. We've also got an acquisition from Twitter. This is a bit of an interesting story because apparently there's an image search firm called Mad Bits. I had no idea. So obviously this will probably limit my plans to use the word Mad Bits in the future, which is going to be a very strange conversation with some people. But Mad Bits, this image which uses deep learning technology to assign relevant information to raw images, has sold itself to Twitter. So, very cool for the Mad Bits guys, whoever they are and whatever they do. Best of luck, gentlemen. And ladies.
Yeah, be nice now.
Hey! Bitcoins, Mad Bits. I don't know. I guess there's a company. There's a word for everything, Ryan. So
Right, right.
we've also got Overstock's radical plan to reinvent the stock market with Bitcoin. And this is really a mind blower right here, and I haven't completely wrapped my mind around it, but it sounds like Overstock is going to be selling some stock in the company Overstock through Counterparty. And that
No way.
yeah, I know. I expected the counterparty price to be going through the roof already. Obviously, this information's a couple hours old, but yeah, basically, I
Holy
mean,
cow.
I don't know if you saw his speech at the Washington D.C. convention. It was kind of the same one he did in Amsterdam, but this guy's an incredible radical. He's part of Wall Street, but he's willing to fight Wall Street, and it's just an incredible person.
Yeah,
Really.
he spoke at Porkfest.
Yep. Yeah, it was kind of the same speech. No offense, but kind of the same speech. But
No,
still,
there should be no offense taken for that because his speech is incredible. More people want to hear it. His message is that
I,
companies using Bitcoin and freedom.
yeah, it's a good speech. I like the slide deck. There's a lot of philosophy. I was really impressed. He's like the first serious person that I've ever heard refer to Snow Crash seriously. The book that, of course, we're reading in the World Crypto Book Club. We're going to have a meeting tomorrow night, Thursday at 7 o'clock on the World Crypto Network right here. Still a chance for you to read the first 100 pages of Snow Crash, a Patrick Byrne, Overstock CEO recommended book. And yeah, I really enjoyed his speech because he took Snow Crash seriously. And a lot of the cryptocurrency and internet type ideas that we're seeing go wild today, a lot of us first read about in Snow Crash.
What's Snow Crash about? What's that?
Snow Crash, just basically, it's about a future with an internet that's like a metaverse, and everyone walks around like in a virtual reality. So it's like Ultima Online, or it was like Second Life is what I was looking for, and they all walk around, and it's about a guy who used to be a pizza delivery driver, but he's also a computer programmer, and he has two swords. He's like a ninja,
Oh
and
my gosh.
it's about this. The main plot line is about this drug, mysterious computer drug called Snow Crash. That when you look at it, this guy looks at it, and it causes his eyes to like go all gray and white and cloudy like Snow Crash, like on an old television screen. And everyone's like, "What the?" And this is in the virtual world that his eyes go like that, but then it affects him in the real world as well. And it's like, what's going on with this crazy new drug that can get you through the internet? And it's all about this world of the best part, really. I mean, the plot's kind of the plot, but the best part is the world building and the depth of this world where the governments of the world have been denigrated to being just another corporation. So KFC has city-states, and you would be a citizen of KFC, and there's little franchises all over, and everything's a little walled garden with city-states, and some of them are feds, and some of them are KFC, and some of them are like McDonald's. And everyone kind of works and lives with their corporation. So
Weird. What a cool idea. Great concept. I'm for it. What time is that again? Tomorrow at what?
tomorrow at 7 or maybe 7:30 in the p.m. Pacific time. So I guess it's probably pretty late for the East Coast. We might have to work on that in the future. But we're going to be discussing it for pretty much the next 4 or 5 weeks. We're going to try to read about 100 pages a week. Or average, whatever's there, and it's a great fun book. It reads really fast, and the idea for the book club is just to go through some of these classic, for me, science fiction, cyberpunk novels that you might not have heard of. And if you have heard of it and you have read it, you're probably a huge fan like me, and you'd love the chance to reread it and talk about it and really get the details out. So Snow Crash, check it out.
That's really cool. Hey, speaking of nerds, I have a couple of nerd stories. Do you want to hear one, or do you have one?
Well, I have one more thing on Snow Crash. Check out the World Crypto Network Reddit at reddit.com/r/World Crypto Network. And this is one of the new places that we're going to be hanging out. It's been good, really good so far. People are putting good links in there, and we're working on decentralizing the world and making World Crypto Network into a distributed, autonomous organization, as well as having a book club there. So a lot going on. So what's going on in the world of nerds, Derek?
Well, I got some nerd friends, and one of them, Matt Whitlock, wrote a post on r/Bitcoin on Reddit, and it was about, well, the title was "Black Bitcoins Will Be Worth More Than White Bitcoins," and I was like, why is that? Of course, I had some inclination as to why that could be because of black markets and what I've seen with the trend when things are prohibited, their value tends to go up. And I thought that was interesting, great read, and then I saw that a few days later, Motherboard of Vice.com had picked up the story on his Reddit thread. And I think that's so cool that, like, in the internet age, you can just type something on Reddit and then it becomes a real news story. You know, it's at Vice, which is has a big reach. And so anyway, I just wanted to read an excerpt from the Motherboard version of this article. "Why Bitcoin May One Day Split into Black and White Coins" is their title. "Rumors are swirling that as governments move to integrate and legitimize Bitcoin, it could have a divisive and lasting effect on the virtual payment system. Forcing regulations on Bitcoin could divide the digital currency into two camps: coins that are regulated and managed by a government or a central agency, and coins that remain pseudonymous and decentralized. White coins and black coins." That future forecast was discussed last week in a Reddit thread on r/Bitcoin, shortly after New York became the first state to draft proposed rules to establish a regulatory framework for the virtual currency. Quote, "We're going to see two classes of Bitcoins emerge, differing only in color," wrote the original Reddit poster. "We'll have white Bitcoins and black Bitcoins. Both will exist on the same blockchain and will move on the same P2P network, but they won't be interchangeable." That doesn't mean literal color, of course, but rather using color as an indication of how secure and anonymous the coins are. The white coins would be currency that's circulated through the regulated system. Black coins would be coins still off the authorities' radar. Already, the crypto community has been slowly dividing between Bitcoiners pushing for mainstream adoption and those who want to honor Bitcoin's cyberpunk anti-establishment roots. A white and black coin dichotomy would be the ultimate expression of this ideological divergence. Both camps are likely to be watching New York carefully, as the finance hub could be something of a boilerplate model for other states. New York's proposed bit license rules for how businesses should incorporate Bitcoin, released last week, would ostensibly purge illicit Bitcoin-driven activity and security problems to attract venture capitalists that were previously hesitant to invest in volatile technology. A sanitized Bitcoin...
Hold on, we need to pause for a second.
Yeah?
They just said, and security problems? How is there... I don't understand how the New York system at all is going to solve security problems. I understand how they can say they are going to attempt to stop illegal activity, but security problems? Really?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I also thought it was strange that they characterized the debate as dividing Bitcoiners between those pushing for mainstream adoption and those who want to honor Bitcoin's cyberpunk anti-establishment roots. Well, I consider myself in both camps.
Yeah, you can't push for adoption and not have it be regulated, but wait, we're adopting it, we're using it now. Like, it's not very regulated. There seems no problems. So
Yeah. So it might just be an issue that we are taking with the wording here. The author perhaps
there's definitely an attempt to divide the Bitcoiners, and part of it is that we are divided. There are economic Bitcoiners, there's entrepreneurs, there's cyberpunks, libertarians, computer geeks, the older guard. There is a division, but the thing is, we're all going to have to come together in the end. The Bitcoin itself, the core protocol, the A to B, sending money around, is not going to change. Like, no matter how many little lawskis they write, it doesn't matter. Remember I like quoting it a lot, I'm going to keep with it. Remember the Humpty Dumpty thing? All the king's horses and all the king's men. And really, that's all. Like, imagine when they had the census and they made Jesus go to Bethlehem and made him go to Jerusalem, you know. Imagine all the horses in the land coming around, all the craftsmen coming around. They're all, you know, fixing these little pieces of the eggshell, and they're like, we're going to attach this piece of the eggshell to that piece. Humpty's going to be fine. We're going to get him back up on the wall. We're going to get him that egg shaped perfectly again. It's just going to take a lot of glue, like a Fabergé egg. Like, we're just going to rebuild him. But that's not going to work, is it? It says they never could put Humpty Dumpty together back again. Never. So
Another lesson learned from Mother Goose.
the classic.
Shall we return to the article?
Go ahead. Keep going. We're doing good.
So the article claims, or what the advocates claim, is that a sanitized Bitcoin could finally appeal to the masses. But others argue that as it stands, the strict rules could wind up choking Bitcoin startups throughout the state and set a dangerous precedent. At issue is the existing Know Your Customer, KYC, laws. Under these regulations, services must keep all customers' physical addresses and identifying information. Third-party Bitcoin platforms like Coinbase and BitPay already comply with these regulations and requirements. But BitLicense takes it one step further, requiring that companies also keep identity records of parties their customers sell Bitcoins to or buy Bitcoins from. In other words, it would effectively mean customers can't do business with anyone unless the government knows who it is. This raises a host of concerns, from the associated cost of compliance to financial surveillance. It's given rise to the fear that these stringent conditions would produce two classes of coins: those used by regulated institutions adhering to de-anonymizing rules, and those that continue to operate in the crypto Wild West. And once the currency is integrated into the regulated system, it would be difficult, if not impossible, to get out. White coins would be tied to institutions that require identifying information. Law enforcement could ask to know where the Bitcoins are headed and where they came from. They'd bounce around inside these verified institutions, but would have no means of escape. As the Reddit poster speculated, quote, white market businesses will not be able to accept black Bitcoins. They'll be required to bounce any received black Bitcoins back to the sender. Also, they will not be allowed to send Bitcoins to unregistered addresses. Black market businesses and individuals, i.e. those operating outside the law, not necessarily immorally, will not only be able to trade with white market businesses, black market businesses and individuals, those operating outside the law, will not be able to trade with white market businesses and individuals. This will cut them off from the larger part of the market. Black Bitcoins, or black coins, would be the remaining Bitcoins that don't fall into this loop. The unregistered coins operating free outside the system. As the theory goes, these black coins would be harder to maintain and more versatile to use, and could grow more valuable than their traditional counterparts over time. Meanwhile, if a schismatic, or what is that word, Thomas? If a schismatic white-black paradigm
creating a
does
schism.
Yeah, right. Meanwhile, if a schismatic white-black paradigm does emerge, it could place a burden on young Bitcoin startups. Many pundits anticipated, or anticipate currently, or even destroy the ease of financial transactions, a big incentive to use digital currency in the first place. This discussion about Bitcoin split kicked off This discussion about a Bitcoin split actually kicked off long before the BitLicense draft release, when coin validation launched late last year to help Bitcoin companies achieve regulatory compliance. People expressed similar concerns that it would effectively whitelist certain addresses, making some Bitcoins more equal than others. But it's still speculation. And what will happen next is very much up in the air. For one, none of the proposed regulations have been implemented yet. And for this kind of schism to occur, a specific set of regulations would need to prevail on a large scale. Some diehards, commenting in the Reddit thread, doubt it would ever be possible to track and keep a centralized database of Bitcoin user identities at all. Others pointed out that if Bitcoin gets usurped by the establishment, people will simply turn to altcoins to assure anonymity and decentralization, and for cryptocurrencies less above aboard users. It's interesting to ponder, though, as countries and towns around the world hesitantly hover over the next generation currency, as authorities attempt to step in, the fate of the cryptocurrency launched for being stateless and decentralized could rest in the hands of the government or the people trying to avoid it. Wow. So just a really interesting article. I totally agree. Black and white coin. If we've seen anything happen with prohibitions in the past, those things that are unregulated, they have higher value, higher trade value.
Well, and the first thing we can do here is, of course, we're going to go back to the master and we're going to quote Andreas. And we're going to talk about what he said at the Maker Faire in Detroit. This looks, I'm not sure it's the same video, but there's some other videos about this where Andreas talks about it. And what he talks about is in 1865 in London, they had a problem with cars. Horses were good, trains were good, cars were bad. So what they did in London, and again, this is basically what New York's doing. So we can look at history and we can learn from history. In England, in London, they passed the Locomotive Act of 1865, the Red Flag Act. And the Red Flag Act stipulated that self-propelled vehicles, aka cars, should be accompanied by a crew of 3. And if the vehicle was attached to 2 or more vehicles, an additional person should accompany the vehicles. And a man with a red flag should be walking at least 60 yards ahead of each vehicle, who is also required to assist with the passage of horses and carriages, i.e. banks and older systems. The vehicle is required to stop at the signal of the flag bearer. Additionally, vehicles are also required to have functional lights and not sound or whistles or blow steam while on the road. There's a speed limit of 4 miles per hour, 2 miles per hour in town, with a fine of £10 for contravention. The restricted road locomotive vehicles to 14 tons and 9 feet in width, as well as requiring the vehicle to have wheels meeting the requirements of the 1861 Act. And what Andreas noted in his speech is that the result of these 1865 Red Flag Acts in England was to kill the automotive industry in England. As I'm sure you all know, America had the huge automotive industry for about 100 years until it went to Japan, until it came back to America, until it went back to wherever it is now. And this is because of the lack of damning restrictions, the lack of red flag acts. We've now seen New York come out with their very own BitLicense Red Flag Act. Whenever you're going to use a Bitcoin, you have to hold up a flag. Whenever you're going to sell a Bitcoin, you have to send a signal out to the left. If you want to sell it to your friend, you have to hold up 2 flags. It's a great system, New York, but you're idiots. The rest of the country, the rest of the world, is not going to adopt your ridiculous draconian system. What your system, like the article with the black coins and the white coins, that's great. The white coins are going to have no value. No one's going to have any interest in the white coins except for the people in the prison of the state of New York. And it's very unfortunate for you good people of New York that you've lost your Bitcoin freedom to an unelected man like Lawsky, and that he's having a 45-day period right now where you could talk to him, even though he already did an AMA on Reddit and ignored the advice of tons of smart people. New York is not interested in getting this right. They're interested in getting it wrong, being the worst wrong, the most wrong, the first wrong, and they're just recreating the 1865 Red Flag Act. So
Yeah. And let's not forget that ultimately the penalty for disobedience is jail. Roger Ver reminds us that if these rules are adopted, the rules will drive businesses out of Bitcoin. Quote, these men calling themselves government are not asking anybody to do anything. They are making demands and will put us behind bars if we don't obey. Bitcoin was specifically designed to strip away power from men who would be so presumptuous to believe that they have the right to rule over others.
And this is their last chance. This is their big go for it. So I hope you guys have a good go in New York. I hope you go all out at the end of these 45 days, because that's it. All you're doing from there is advertising Bitcoin. You're telling everyone in the state of New York, hey, have you heard of Bitcoin? We're taking away your rights, but maybe you should still check it out. So I imagine that wallet adoption, new accounts on Coinbase, they're going to go through the roof after that. And they're not going to want white Bitcoins. They're going to want real Bitcoins they can spend wherever they want. They're going to put them on paper, send them to a... How do you track a Bitcoin that goes to an exchange, gets traded for an altcoin, traded back for an altcoin, traded to another exchange, traded to another exchange, traded to another... How do you track that, Losky? It's too the cat's out of the bag. Pandora's gone. The old system is over. You're not going to be able to conform Bitcoin into the old system. It's just not going to happen. We got a call.
Hey, Matthew, calling in on our Skype line, Bitcoin Talk Show. You are on the air.
Hi, I just wanted to comment on some of the discussion going on regarding the black versus white coins, and the fact that this honestly disenfranchises those who are seeking to actually fall within, you know, quote unquote, I won't call it regulated commerce, but within a commercial system. Ultimately, we have huge numbers of individuals falling through government cracks throughout the globe, throughout third world nations, and who are subjected to a lack of identity and will not be able to do anything except violate these New York procedures. There's no identity to tie them to. So how do we trade with these people? How do we help them? How does a third world NGO accept funds to aid these individuals?
I don't know. What do you think, Thomas?
Unmuted. I do think the caller has a good point that part of the beauty of Bitcoin is that anyone can get an account. There's no controls over getting a Bitcoin account. It's a random number and another random number. And once you have those two parts, you're set. You have an account. You could be a little kid. You could be a woman in Saudi Arabia or another country that has restrictive laws against women. You could be ex-convict or some kind of other controlled class of person that doesn't have the same rights as other people according to some systems. So the New York system definitely tries to take that away. They're way too into this know your customer, anti-money laundering tools that they use to fight the mafia and presumably to fight drug dealers ineffectively. So yeah, they're definitely willing to take that away. They don't care about the unbanked, even in their state or in the third world. I would say that, you know, NGOs should probably just take normal Bitcoins. I think that the rest of the world will ignore the state of New York and this ridiculous law. Worst case scenario, like I said in the other group or whatever, I said we might go to a slave state, free state situation like the Civil War, where other states blindly copy and paste New York's regulations, thinking that they're correct, thinking that they could get more business to their state or hop on. Maybe we see a whole confederacy of these anti-Bitcoin states. But the world's going to wake up. The world's going to know. They're not going to want to separate into white coin and black coin. What do you think, caller? Is he still with us?
I can't see a way that this is enforceable to begin with. So I mean, just from the sake of enforceability, I really think that this legislation needs to be re-examined from the bottom up. I mean, for it to go in place as it stands, I don't. I mean, it's essentially gonna mean that the United States will have to go to war to enforce New York state legislation. That's essentially what it comes down to me, in terms of the length that would need to be gone to try to enforce this type of legislation.
And legislation is really a kind way of putting it. This is one unelected person deciding for himself what's going to happen in the state of New York. I don't know the governor of New York, the legislator there. Why aren't they taking action to at least assert their voice in this conversation? The people who elected them to speak for them, and clearly there are people in New York that use Bitcoin, right? There's Bitcoin Decentral, there's Bitcoin Central, a lot of other programs in New York, exchanges, things like that. Speak up. Write your congressperson. Ask your congressperson why Super Nintendo Losky is ruining Bitcoin for the state of New York. This is one man.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more on that.
Any other thoughts, caller?
I hope to see this dialogue continue. I hope to see avenues continue to open for these types of dialogues to continue. The fact that people are talking about it is a good thing. I just hope that we can make sure our voices are heard. Actually, one of my biggest goals is to try to give another outlet. One of my key interests is in cryptocurrency in general is for these second level infrastructures, I guess you could say, methods of reinventing some of these public infrastructures that we've relied on, and opening up avenues for people to have greater voice in these types of wide scale decision making that we're trying to apply to a large body of people.
Yeah, I like you said it's unenforceable. I've considered that as well. One example that comes to mind is that someone recently sent Ben Losky a Bitcoin tip worth over $10 on Twitter, and he's now going to have to deal with that, right? He just received some Bitcoin, so.
Ooh, that is beautiful. I am so excited to hear that. That is hilarious.
Yeah. So unfortunately. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So he's going to have to abide by his own rules. So whatever rules he makes up for other people, they're going to have to stick for him as well. We would hope, right, that he wouldn't just exempt himself from his own rules. That never happens in politics. Hey, any other thoughts about the Wikimedia Foundation, BitPay having no fees, Overstock announcing a stock plan on Counterparty, Coinbase, zero processing fees for nonprofits?
Honestly, to me, these things seem like the natural evolution of the system. If it's going to succeed, these look like the kind of things that need to happen. And to me, it's a sign that the industry is moving in the right direction, and I really kind of think it's here to stay. I'm very excited to participate in the crypto sphere, be among the early adopters. So yeah, no, I'm very excited to hear about these types of movements that the industry as a whole is kind of taking in order to kind of cement that.
When you call yourself an early Bitcoin adopter, what do do? Do you spend Bitcoin? Do you mine it? Do you code?
Actually, I'm not. I mine in a hobbyist type of sense. I don't have any commercially viable mining equipment or anything.
Ben Losky's listening. He's listening. He's coming to your house right now.
If you're a miner, it just means you're losing money like the rest of us. Mining's a very tough game. Very tough game.
Mining's a very tough game. Actually, I'm in the midst of a launch of a cryptocurrency ourselves. That's one of the reasons all this legislation is so sensitive to me. We're actually in the midst of launching a free speech network.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
What?
We're trying to leverage MadeSafe in order to protect anonymity and service a unvoiced population of the world. Basically, we see throughout the world dire repercussions for people expressing themselves.
Yeah.
And we want to open that up, our platform, we've got some preliminary information available about the direction we're moving in right now at freedompieces.net. You can follow us on Twitter as well. Currently, we're looking at launching on MadeSafe because they seem like the most viable platform to leverage in terms of servicing our anonymity demands for the platform.
Cool. Hey, is this your video that we have up on the screen, freedompieces.net?
I don't know if I'm live.
Do we have your permission to? No, not your webcam video. I mean, is this your
Yes,
video
that
on
is
the
our
webpage?
video, yes.
Do we have your permission to play it so that YouTube doesn't come after us and say like, "Hey, you played third-party content"?
You absolutely
We should
have
play that.
permission to go ahead and play our
All right, let me get my.
Go hit it, Thomas.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, I should play it, right? Because will the sound come through?
The sound might be better on your end, Derek. But before we play it, just let's go back to the caller's ideas of community projects. I thought that was a really interesting idea because I know a lot of people say, "What's going to happen?" Like that movie, what's going to happen to the parks? And what's going to happen to the music programs? And I know they've already cut music and PE from the schools here in California and probably a lot of other places. And if you support parks, if you support music programs and PE programs, it's time to set up like little Bitcoin organizations where maybe you could crowdfund from your community Bitcoin to pay for these organizations, to pay for these services that you like. And just, put your money where your mouth is. If you like parks, if you like open spaces, if you like music and PE, libraries, all of these kind of services that we used to get from the government, it's time to separate those services. And I think Bitcoin's going to help us do that.
Oh, I agree 110%. Here's the video from freedompieces.net.
Freedom Pieces is the world's first decentralized and fully anonymous publishing platform. Through the MadeSafe network, the platform can't track IP addresses. Free from IP address tracking and logging, the message is separated from the messenger. Ideas should be valued only upon their own merits. Without fear of ostracism or other repercussions, individuals are truly free to express themselves. By preventing identification through IP addresses, identities are truly kept private. Anonymity is what makes Freedom Pieces a hub where ideas can circulate freely. As a dynamically sourced, anonymous content hosting platform, Freedom Pieces will be immune to third-party efforts to shut it down. Without a server, DDoS, or other attacks used against centralized servers are ineffective. This makes the platform incredibly censorship-resistant. Ideological wars are being fought every single day. We believe these wars should be fought not with guns and weapons on bloody battlefields, but with tools like reason and persuasive arguments. If an idea is unable to stand on its own two legs, it can and should be shot down, exposed as false. To this day, the internet has been further and further centralized. The power of so many has had its reins in the hands of the few. Freedom Pieces offer that power back to the people. With a decentralized, autonomous platform, there are no key holders to censor your statements. Many groups rely on consensus and frown upon swaying from the status quo. Freedom Pieces provides a publishing platform to any individual with something to say, individuals which may have otherwise faced backlash. With Freedom Pieces, no identifying information is gathered. This prevents any possibility of anonymity being compromised by the system. Truly free speech is fundamental to advancing the cause of humanity. What will you say now that you can really say it?
Cool. Wow, what a great video. Matthew, you are back on the line. I'm impressed. I'm glad that it doesn't collect any information. Should go without saying. How can people help you if they want to support this project?
Well, currently we're still in a development phase. We're looking at launching our pre-sale sometime, hopefully in the near future. Our biggest goal is to raise awareness, just to get the word out, to get that you know, this is something that's in the works. You know, I mean, we're still working on our development team. You know, we are in the process of bringing together the developers that we need. But really, I mean, honestly, if anybody wants to get involved, they're welcome to contribute on our content publishing platform. That's one of the routes that we're looking to do some community building with. One of the key things that we're trying to focus on is a willingness to be wrong. Just go out there and, you know, I mean, if you've got some crazy idea in your head that, you know, maybe you're a little hesitant to share with your peers even necessarily, go out there and say it. Just who cares if you're wrong? People have a right to be wrong. Too much of our personal reputations are staked on the idea that we're right, and I personally, it creates an unwillingness to be incorrect, which leads us to defend ideas that maybe we really shouldn't be defending. And honestly, that's the biggest thing that we're trying to get out there is be willing to be wrong, be willing to speak up for what you believe in, but also accept the fact that maybe you believe incorrectly.
That could be the case. It's been the case more often than not for me. Hey, what inspires you? Have you done any anonymous posting in the past?
Personally, I haven't, honestly, because I mean, I've always been aware of the fact that, I mean, even if you look at something like 4chan, sure, it looks anonymous, but somebody gets access to that server, they're gonna find you. They're gonna figure out what you posted and so forth. And so, to be honest, honestly, one of the things that's a big motivation for me behind this platform is maybe I can go out there and finally say some of the crazy shit that I have in my head.
Cool. Yeah, I think that's an inspiration for a lot of us who love freedom, is that we want to be able to live free, and unfortunately there's no way to do that in a surveillance state without being completely open. It would be nice to have privacy again, and I've heard of that concept in the past existing, but I've never experienced it myself, so it would be really cool to see freedompieces.net take off and be an anonymous publishing platform. Is that the idea, basically? I'd be able to publish stuff to this website completely anonymously? Am I missing a part of the concept?
That's a major goal. Yeah, I mean, our major goal is to implement this in a fashion that it will largely. So one of the obstacles we'll face long term is that the MadeSafe platform is, in a sense, you could say it's insulated. It's not the wider internet at large. So one of the things, and fortunately we know that this is something that dev teams are already working on building, but HTML facing interface to get into this safe network is one of the key tools that we'll need. There's going to be a lot of moving parts as we approach MadeSafe's availability, but ideally by leveraging MadeSafe, we should be able to not even know who is on our site to begin with. So the idea is that if we're asked for the keys, we can give them over. You're not going to find anything that you wouldn't have found just looking at the website, just, you know, from the HTML facing.
That's brilliant, because I was really concerned about that when LavaBit founder Ladar Levison was forced to turn over his keys, his anonymous or his encrypted email website, LavaBit, that we later found out Edward Snowden might have been using or was using. That's not clear to me. I don't remember exactly, but the FBI forced Ladar to hand over the keys to decrypt the emails on his webs, you know, that he was serving, and that was just unfortunate that they were able to just strong-arm a guy to breaking his convictions and going back on his word to his customers. But you are building a system that even if authorities or evildoers decide to come to you and say, we want to expose everyone on your website, you would say, here's the keys. You can't do much with them.
Yep, exactly.
Wow, that's really cool.
You want to get it behind the scenes, looks the same as it does on the front.
Yeah, well, that's really cool, man. Well, I wish you luck. The website is freedompieces.net. Where can people contact you?
I'm most readily reachable through Skype, Matthew.freedom. If anybody's looking to reach out to me, they're welcome to contact me. Just like it sounds, MATTHEW.FREEDOM. You can also follow me you can follow our main Twitter account at Freedom Pieces. We're definitely on a roll in terms of just recognizing the support and need for this, and therefore realizing just how far that this vision really can go, I think.
Cool, man. Well, thanks again for the call. Appreciate it. Call again anytime. I'd love to hear an update on Freedom Pieces.
Oh, certainly. We will definitely keep you guys in the loop. We're actually doing a smaller hangout tomorrow. Let me just double check.
Yeah, give it a plug.
Yeah, if anybody's got any questions for us directly, both myself and the co-founder, we will be available. We're doing a hangout, and I'm trying to find.
So it's like a live Google Hangout on air, sort of like what we're broadcasting right now.
Exactly. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to look. I mean, if you look up on Google Plus Freedom Pieces, one of the main posts is the Google the Freedom Pieces Hangout, which is what it's titled, the Freedom Pieces Hangout.
All right, very cool. FreedomPieces.net. Thank you, Matthew.freedom.
Oh, it's 11 a.m. tomorrow.
11 a.m. Eastern? Central. 11 a.m. Central. Check out the Google Hangout with FreedomPieces.net and Matthew.freedom. Peace. Okay, that was a great caller.
All these time zones. Well, I was just thinking how excited I am by all these encrypted, freedom-leaning programs. And I wanted to go back to bring up this image and just say it says wiring up the Big Brother machine and fighting it. This is Mark Klein's 2005 book, where he basically exposed to us everything that Edward Snowden exposed, but Mark Klein didn't have any kind of insider access. What he said is that he worked at a data center in San Francisco, and that they put in this closet, and that the closet didn't have any doors, and it didn't have any handles on the doors, and that all the internet went through this closet, and he didn't know what was happening inside that closet. And sometimes they have emergencies at data centers, they have floods, they have electrical problems. He couldn't access that closet even during a flood, even during an electrical outage. There was no access. And what of course we found out later is that the NSA was copying the internet. They were tracking all of our transactions, all of our information through this box. And in 2005, I got very excited about encryption. I wrote instruction manuals how to use encryption, how to add it to Thunderbird, how to add it to off-the-record messaging with your instant messaging. I told all my friends, I'm not going to communicate with you unless you encrypt your emails and send them to me. All my instant messenger friends, I quit Facebook, I quit all these things. And you know what happened is everyone kind of stopped talking to me. Well,
yeah,
everyone stopped talking to me.
Yeah, I know what it's like, man. I know.
Everything I was doing was totally encrypted and safe, and I wasn't communicating at all. It was over. So.
Well, I'm glad. It finally just took a few years of people learning about GPG tools and all of these encryption techniques that make it very easy. Check out prism-break.org for lots of options that you can use to use encryption instead of regular texting. You can use TextSecure. There's so many great encryption tools available.
That's why it's great to see, like the Freedom Fiends page. Let me see if I can pull it up. They had a
Meowbit.
They had a different page, but they had a chart where it was like how it's going to work and how it just. I love it. I love the way it's going to work and the different levels of things, and that people are thinking about. Oh, God, I found the chart. They're thinking about these things. So check out this chart from the Freedom Pieces website at buyfps.com. They've got a token and the way the token's going to be used with the downvotes, users rewarded for quality content. Like, I was basically talking about all this stuff 10 years ago, and it's just so exciting to see it happen now with a little bit of VC funding, with a little bit of programming work, a little bit of spreading the word, and to see MadeSafe, Freedom Pieces, these other Ethereum, these other platforms take off. It's just really exciting. So I also wanted to update everyone on the status of the Indiegogo campaign on Proton Mail. And for those of you who haven't heard yet, protonmail.ch is pretty much going to be everyone's address in the future. everyone who gives a shit about people not reading their email. Because Proton Mail is in Switzerland, where they still care about privacy, which used to be a human right, and Proton Mail is going to have basically just an alternative for Gmail, a nice, clean, ad-free, encrypted system that's in Switzerland where you can trust the government. And if you want to try it out today, you can buy access for $37 through their Indiegogo campaign. That'll give you instant access. If you want to just get added to a list or get an upgrade to your access, you can pay less money. Or you can wait until they release their full system, and Proton Mail will be, I think it's free. I don't know how it's going to be free, but somehow it's going to be free, or maybe some kind of fee.
Just look at all the Indiegogo money they got. 5 times their goal. They're set.
5 times their goal, but this just in, we're breaking lots of news on this show because it's morning, it's still morning for me, but PayPal freezes Proton Mail campaign funds. How do you like me now, PayPal? Like, is there a reason for Bitcoin? What about this, people? What about this? PayPal, what are you doing? What are you doing, PayPal?
In the old world, they can't compete.
Yeah, and just ridiculous. Like, and again, the typical PayPal contact marks are all there. No attempt was made by PayPal to contact us before freezing our account. No notice was given. This is why banks are dead. This is why PayPal is dead. You're freezing people's accounts for no reason by your own whims, which, again, used to be fine when you were the government. You were chasing down the mafia, and you're like, freeze that drug dealer's account. Make it frozen, which is just an imaginary banking term. It's not a computer science term. No, your funds aren't actually frozen. The bank just won't give them to you, which is why in the future there will be no banks, there will be Bitcoin, and no one will freeze your account. If Proton Mail wants to raise money to give us encrypted email that people want, they'll do it. But now it's happened, and here it is. PayPal is like many others. They've heard the horror stories, and that PayPal was going to improve it. And let's see, how much money do they steal? It looks like $275,000 are being frozen by PayPal. So.
Wow, that's quite a heist, PayPal.
Quite a heist. So yeah,
hey,
I guess
people are going to be looking for alternatives to things like PayPal, and they love digital money, but they don't know how to get Bitcoin. Well, some of my friends are at something called the Cheshire Fair right now, and they're talking to all the people in the Southwest County in New Hampshire about Bitcoin. This from freekeen.com. Liberty activists are back at the 2014 Cheshire Fair for our 3rd year. In addition to the usual liberty-oriented propaganda, this year's booth features a Bitcoin vending machine. If you haven't gotten started with Bitcoin yet, drop by and we can set you up with a free Bitcoin wallet from blockchain.com, and you can fund the wallet with Bitcoin via the vending machine at the table. Like last year, the Shire Society Declaration is there, so come on out, blah, blah, blah. And then here's a picture of the Bitcoin vending machine right at the fair, and it's got a sign that says Got Bitcoin. So very cool. I'm excited that more people are going to be using Bitcoin in the surrounding area. I'm excited we have a Skyhook machine here in Keene, New Hampshire, that people are going to be able to use to convert their old paper money into useful, spendable digital money. They could even be black coins. And
go Skyhook. You can get a Skyhook ATM at projectskyhook.com for less than $1,000. It's amazing.
You know, Thomas, I made a video of my friend Ian setting up his Skyhook, the one pictured in that photograph there. Would you like to see some of the setup video?
Sure, go ahead. I've done it myself now. I have my own Skyhook over there. So.
Well, here, let's see. I've got the unboxing vid first. Let me pull that up and see if I can't do a screen share with everyone. I can't at the moment. But when did you get your Skyhook?
I got it just a couple of weeks ago. It's a test machine. It's just for testing and for
the Project Skyhook Bitcoin vending machine. I've got my phone here. I'm going to tether. Okay, sorry, go on. I'm just trying to check to see if I've got the right video.
I'm looking for mine too. I had some unboxing videos, but I do intend to make a larger video about the Skyhook.
It's just for testing purposes? What does that mean? Did they make you sign some kind of weird agreement that says, like, oh, I'm not really going to sell Bitcoins to people?
Absolutely. I'm not selling Bitcoins to people. It is for demonstration and testing purposes only.
Is that some sort of agreement that you have to sign?
You have to sign an IRS agreement that you have read the rules and that kind of thing, and that you're not a money transmitter, or that you are a money transmitter if you're going to really use the Bitcoin ATM. I'm not sure why they're doing that. I mean, it seems like if you call it a vending machine, maybe it's just a vending machine and you buy Bitcoin through it. I don't know. They have very strange rules, but.
Well, I didn't hear about any of those rules. And here's an unboxing video if people want to see what it's like to get one of these things for yourself. Check it out.
So we have, we're at the Shire Free Church, and we've got the Project Skyhook Bitcoin vending machine here, which is very exciting. I don't know if it's the first one in, no, I guess it's probably not the first one in New Hampshire. There's a couple others out there.
Might be the first Skyhook in New Hampshire.
Oh, really? Okay. I know there was some Pork Fest, I just don't know if it's well packaged.
No, there's another one in Manchester.
Don't know.
Well, those were temporarily here.
It's a $1,000 Bitcoin vending machine. There are others out there that are like $6,000, so the price is definitely right. Although the reviews and information about it online are fairly slim, there's not a lot of information, so this is going to be one of the only unboxing videos out there so far.
Nice secure packaging. It's wrapped up in lots of bubble wrap. This takes a while to get unwrapped, so I'm just going to skip ahead.
Here's my unboxing video, but it's a 7-second Vine.
Okay, I'll pause mine. What's yours?
Well, there's inside the box, and then here's the opening the box one, taking the cardboard to the side.
Nice. What did you use, like Vine?
Yeah,
Nice.
This is mine. So I recorded like just a couple seconds here and a couple seconds there, and then I, unboxed it myself. And there's what the machine looks like. It's got a power plug and a network plug. And then here's the inside of the machine. You can see it's got a cash reader there. It's got the boxy thing is the Raspberry Pi, I think. And then it's got a Android tablet that's just kind of has metal clips that hold it up there. That's that front part is the Android tablet. And then that's something else. So there you go.
That's really cool. One of the problems that we had initially when we were trying to set up the Bitcoin vending machine was that the machine was turned on first instead of the tablet. In other words, it was user error, not following directions. You have to turn the tablet on first, let that load, and then reboot, and then you can turn the machine on. So it was a thing about not following directions, but it did seem more, I don't know, you shouldn't have to follow directions. Things should be just that easy.
Yeah, we were having some confusion where we had to reset it and just like turn everything off, go back to the beginning, and do it again because it did seem like it was working. But once we got it working, it worked fine. I just think there's a bit of an on-off procedure. So if you were going to have these in your business, you might have to turn them on and off every day. That might be a big pain in the butt.
Yeah.
There's also the it looks like there's a possibility of like screen burn-in with the Bitcoin logo. It doesn't really move around enough. There's not really enough clearing of the screen.
Yeah, and it just stays on. There's no screensaver for that.
Yeah, no screensaver. And then mine actually doesn't stay on because I have to set the Android tablet differently somehow. I haven't yet, so that it keeps the screen so it goes to sleep. And then the way that it works, you have to open the box to reset the tablet because the tablet.
No, that's horrible. No way. That's not going to work. So right now we've got the Bitcoin machine downstairs, and it just stays on all the time. It sort of freaks me out because I'm not used to seeing a screen that it's always the same. Like, get a screensaver on that.
Yeah, it's gonna get burnt in though, like the old video games and old TVs where it'll just have that image on there and it won't be able to clear it. You can see it already on a lot of Skyhooks.
Oh man, that's horrible.
Yeah, something to fix, Skyhook if you're watching. But again, I really should do a real write-up and try to write up everything about the machine and talk about everything with it at a later time. But
well, I've got another one that does like a example of. I don't know. I'm trying to pull up the video of the programming section where
Sure.
like when you program the beginning info on the machine. Let's see if I can pull that out. Yeah.
All right. Well, since my technology failed, we went ahead to the blockchain site, copied my Bitcoin URL, and then to one of the Bitcoin generators. It's like the first, if you search for a Bitcoin QR generator, it's the first option. And it's pretty cool. It actually prints up the codes. You can have little graphics in the center of them, which is kind of neat. And there's different Bitcoin-related graphics. One of them even has the full word Bitcoin across the center. So anyway, let's give this another go here. So we're going to get started as though we're just some normal customer. And scan your QR code. Oh, am I covering it up maybe? Yep. Address detected. There's my FTL Ian custom thing there, so it looks like the right address. Yep. Alright, we're waiting, I think. Insert bills. Alright, moment of truth. Here we go. We're going to try $10 worth. And this acceptor says that it can accept them any direction, so there's no like specification there. Aha. $10 USD. That currently will buy that amount of Bitcoins. It will be sent to my blockchain address. I'm going to go ahead and hit buy. And then maybe if the blockchain app is actually still working. No,
And then I thought one other cool feature was that it gives you the option to receive a receipt in your email when you're finished purchasing. You'll see that feature here.
Transaction complete.
So he says, go ahead, send me an email, and then we're all finished there.
Sent.
Click done.
Done.
And then it's
Yeah,
finished.
presumably, when I check my blockchain account, should be $10 in there.
So well, that's the idea. It was my first time seeing a Skyhook at work. I've seen the Lamassu machines. I love them. The Lamassu are sexier, a little more user-friendly, it seems. But then the Skyhook is more affordable and more customizable. So, you know, different features. Plus, Skyhook were one of the first callers to this show, Bitcoin Talk Show. So, special place in my heart for Skyhook machines.
And they're also open sourcing all of their software around the ATM. There's a time schedule to it, but eventually they do want everything to be open source. They've publicly said they want to put the other ATM makers and even themselves out of business. They want as many Bitcoin ATMs as we can get. So it is a very simple software set they have right now. It could use a couple of changes. The camera is a little low. Most people try to hold their phone up too low. We need more camera up here picture or graphic, and then the bill reader going both ways is kind of confusing to people. So I would just put up a sticker saying that it goes one way, something like that.
I don't know. You could put all sorts of custom stickers on the front of that thing. Do you have some Mad Bitcoin stickers on yours?
Eventually, hopefully, but I want to say you can also put custom things inside the Skyhook. And here we are from our friend Christopher Franco, the world's first open source Franco ATM. And if you see here in this video, he's got the Franco logo on there and the Franco price. Alas, it's down to 12 cents. But and he's modified the Skyhook so that now it will send Franco coins, which is his own coin. And it's very cool. It's the same exact menus as you just saw in Ian's video, but now it's using Franco. So I imagine it's only a tweak to this code, and you could be selling Doge, and you could be selling maybe dark coins, maybe light coins, a variety of other coins, and just right here.
Is it true, Thomas, the rumor that I heard that these machines will not work if you don't have a money transmitter license?
Alas, the machines will continue to work. It's just your future of freedom might not work. So be very careful when you get a Bitcoin ATM. Mine is a demo unit. I'm not sure on the laws in other states or on the IRS laws. I assume there's reasonable levels if you process more than $10,000 or something. I mean, I process like $1, you know, $2. So
he's lying. Half the Bitcoins in California went through Thomas's machine.
It's very true. I've been very busy. I have a van. I carry this thing around.
Well, you know, what are you afraid of? What do you think could happen? Charlie Shrem style? You just get locked up, thrown away for having a Bitcoin ATM? I mean, wouldn't that be the biggest...
Don't make me Cassandra out our future. Let's Talk Bitcoin has his own coin. Who even knows if that's technically valid? So there's a lot of questions. People
I'm not trying to throw anyone under the bus or get anyone thrown in jail. I'm just saying, look how many
look
criminals.
back on this a year from now, they'd be like, remember all those Bitcoin people we liked? Yeah, they're all in jail now. So, it could be a crackdown where they just decide all of a sudden one day they're like, oh, let's just black bag all those Bitcoin people we don't like. No, let's not have any of that. No, we have.
Well, our videos will continue to exist. People can watch old episodes of Mad Bitcoins.
I hope they do. I hope they go back and watch them because I wonder.
They'll be nostalgic for their hatted friend.
It's a lot of information back there. You can learn about the price, what the price was back then. It's pretty fun.
Well, so these Skyhook machines are pretty cool. You can customize what sort of coin you want to sell. So can you set them up? Right now you can only set them up through a blockchain wallet, right? Like you have to do some serious coding to customize them, don't you?
I imagine Franco did. I don't know how serious. I mean, they gave him their existing software. So I imagine he had to go in and find all the points where it said Bitcoin and change that to Franco. And the points where it interacts with the blockchain API, he probably had to write his own code that reacts with the Franco coin API or whatever there is to use Franco coins. So
that is really cool.
It's probably tough the first time. But now that it's done once, if he open sources it, I imagine they could do one for Doge. And then what we're really looking for is for the Skyhook people to then take this code, incorporate it into their code, and maybe offer a patch or something, and then we could just choose at the main menu, and we could have a machine that worked for all these currencies, and you could just choose which one you want. It's a little confusing for people. Maybe put that down in the menus, have it be Bitcoin first, and then if you go into the menus, you could get the altcoins. But yeah, it's very much open. It's very much there. And again, it doesn't take Benjamin Lawsky to say that you can do this. You just edit the code. Franco's just one guy that can edit code, and he worked with the Skyhook people through open source, which is this beautiful, wonderful thing that Lawsky doesn't understand either. So.
Yeah, I'm going to ask the Skyhook guys if they can add a fingerprint scanner and maybe a driver's license verifier so that every time I ask someone, hey, would you like to buy some Bitcoin from this ATM here, they can say, sure, let me get all my credentials, my money, make sure I have my money transmitter license, make sure I have my Bit license because I'm about to receive Bitcoins, and then I'll be ready. And the Skyhook people,
instead of using their time on something useful like adding a Piper printer wallet to the Skyhook ATM, so that it could print, paper wallets. So even if you don't have your own address wallet or you don't have a smartphone, you could just print a wallet, put your worthless fiat money in, and scan it to the paper wallet. It'd be very cool.
That would be cool. Why don't they have that already? I would like to see that because you saw in the video, Ian had some problems with his phone loading the blockchain wallet. It just wasn't working at that moment, sure. And he was able to go online and print one out. But it would be better if you just had a button on the machine. You push the button, and poof, out pops a QR code that can be your new offline. Well, no, I guess it wouldn't be. Yeah, it could be an offline wallet, right? Because
it's the best possible situation. If I run into new people and I get them to buy $1 worth of Bitcoin to a paper wallet, their Bitcoins are actually safer than the people who have their Bitcoins in Coinbase or blockchain. And maybe they've been Bitcoiners for years and they have tons of Bitcoins, but they have them in Coinbase or blockchain and they have them in one big, large pile, and when they get hacked, they're going to lose them all. Whereas if you keep them in paper offline wallets, they could be safe. And that's why I bought a Piper paper wallet printer when I got the Skyhook, and if I ever go to any conventions or anything, I would bring both of them and let people try them out and use them.
So before Ian went to the Cheshire Fair with this Skyhook machine to spread the good word of Bitcoin to the masses, we were talking about what's the easiest way to get people set up with Bitcoin wallet. What's the easiest way to get people using this machine? And I was thinking that they should set up a mycelium wallet. It's nice and quick and easy to use. It's not very secure, but it's easy, so like there's no PIN. You just open the app and then boom, there's your QR code. But I think it would be nice for adoption for people to be able to download an app, see a QR code, scan it on the screen, put in bills, and then have Bitcoin. Like nice and easy. And then when they're ready to graduate, they can get a blockchain wallet,
Well,
and that's more secure, and they can take those things somewhere safer.
And now, once again, you can get the blockchain wallet on iOS. And it does have a PIN number, like you're talking to get into the app in the new version. And my version from the Cydia App Store updated automatically the other day. I was very surprised to see that. But it has the new blockchain logo. It's got a nice flat interface that everyone's doing now, where everything extends to the edges. The old version was kind of centered. And it's very, very clean, very neat, very easy to use. And this is pretty much what I would be suggesting these days. Get a blockchain account, and then if you're going to buy Bitcoin in person, or get it from a local person.
Yeah, and if you're going to set up a new blockchain wallet, I think it's important to sync it with, with the computer somewhere. Make a backup. Learn about security. AnonymousBitcoinBook.com. There's a lot of stuff to know. I mean, that's really my question, Thomas, is like, how can I make it easy for people who are walking up at a county fair and they're like, what's this thing? I've heard about Bitcoin. How do I use it? Like, okay, I want to help those people. I want to bridge that gap. What do you think is the easiest way to do it? We've got the Skyhook there.
I like the county fair idea, and I just thought of a solution. Like, not penny candy, but quarter candy. You get like a little jar of candy, and you sell the candy for $0.25 a piece for Bitcoins. Then you get people to buy $1 worth of Bitcoin, and then they can spend it for the candy. I guess the blockchain times might be too long. They might have to wait and come back. But some kind of thing, if you could get them to take the $1 in Bitcoin, and then get them to buy the candy for $0.25, and then they could see how it works on both ends. That would be cool.
That would be really cool. Okay, so something of value that they can buy, because the table has a bunch of freebie stuff. I don't know if you saw in the picture, but it's got like bumper stickers and
flyers, bumper stickers, and those are cool. But just get something that maybe pencils or stickers or just candy. I think candy is a good get. A lot of people gum, something like that. Maybe a soda if you're depending on the environment. If it's really hot. So
it's a county fair, yeah. So it would be a good one to be able to have something to sell for these.
Yeah, sell, and not to profit or anything. $1 a bottle or whatever, not anything. And boom, just to have this idea that now you can have some Bitcoin and spend some Bitcoin, and that's what Bitcoin is for.
Right. I like it. Well, what about security? Do you think it's too confusing to set people up with one wallet and then tell them to switch to another? I mean, that's what I was recommending, but now that I say it out loud, I'm sort of thinking like, hey, maybe you should just stick with blockchain.
Probably stick with blockchain for now. It's just simpler. They can link it to their email address if they want, or they don't have to. If you just give them $1 and then they trade you the $1 for 4 pieces of candy, that's it. It's done right there. And we've had some transactions, we've had some learning, and we just move on. They don't even need to take money home if they don't want to.
Right. And one of the cool features about the Bitcoin ATM from Skyhook is that it can tether with your phone. So what Ian is doing out in the county fair, they don't have Wi-Fi, but he can tether the Bitcoin machine to his phone, and suddenly all the people who have a connection on their phone are able to use the Bitcoin ATM. The Bitcoin ATM can work right through the same internet connection as your phone. Pretty cool. One of the unique features of the ATM that I think is different from others like Lamasu is that the Bitcoins actually aren't purchased at the time of the sale. In other words, it's more like a vending machine in that they're preloaded. You have to put Bitcoins in the machine or in the wallet that it has access to, and then those are sold from the vending machine. But if they're not there, they can't be sold.
And that was one of the neat experiences for me. Is I was going to take it to our local Bitcoin meetup here, and I was like, uh-oh, I better put some money on the machine. And I didn't need the machine to put money on it. I just need to go to my blockchain account that I have set up, and then go to one of my other accounts and just send $10, $20 over. And then now I can watch that $20 in the machine on blockchain, and I can get a full record of the $2 or $3 in Bitcoin that I've given away from the 20. So
wow, that's really cool. That gives me an idea. Like if I were to buy a Skyhook machine and put it in one of the local businesses that does a lot of sales, I would be able to say, hey, I will keep this stocked at all times because I can check the thing, and I never have to. I can check the balance, I never have to go to the actual physical store to reload it.
You would eventually have to go to clean the cash out from the machine. So there is a cash-heavy problem. But as far as the Bitcoin side, nope. You could just reload it from afar, and maybe if people are giving you large bills, $20 bills, $100 bills, you wouldn't even really have to empty the cash reader. Another great idea, and I plan to use this, but I also want to give it away for free for other nonprofits or other shows like this, like if you got a Peace News Now, Skyhook ATM. One of my ideas is to get a cool-looking sticker and to put it on the top of it and say, if you like this ATM, support this ATM by sending money to it. And then the QR code would go to the ATM's blockchain account, and you would be refilling the ATM. So if you buy Bitcoins from the ATM and you're like, oh, this is good, I just want to test it, you could send some of those Bitcoins back to the ATM.
Wow. I never even considered that. That's kind of a weird idea.
And the ATM could fund itself, or people could they could donate you $1, and then they could just give you the $1 in Bitcoin back. It's really a test machine, especially if you put that QR code. It also exposes the whole thing. If they wanted to take it home and see what kind of transactions your ATM had been doing, they could look at it right there in the blockchain. So it's very neat. You can learn about your ATM.
That's really transparent.
Mm-hmm.
That's more transparent than any ATM ever.
It's terrifyingly transparent. But again, I haven't been moving a lot of money, and I don't really plan to. But if you were, boy, it would be all right there. So.
Half of California's Bitcoins have gone through Thomas.
I calculated, even with the excellent price I was able to negotiate with Skyhook, it would still take, like, I'd have to charge like a 5 to 10% fee, and I'd have to run like $5,000 to $10,000 through the machine to clear back the cost of the Skyhook. So.
You got it. It's all right. You'll make that money. Hey, another cool feature, speaking of the sale price, is that I noticed you could set the minimum price on the machine. So if you, for example, bought your Bitcoins at over $600, and today I think they're a little less than that, you obviously wouldn't want to sell them. So you could just say, hey, the sell price is going to be a flat $601, and it can never go below that, even though the price on whatever, like BitcoinAverage.com, you can set all the places for it to check the price. Even if the price is lower there, it won't sell it for less. That's a pretty nice feature as well. Something that
it also has the function to add in a royalty on top of the Bitcoin price. So if you wanted to charge an extra 5%, extra 10% to probably help cover the cost of the machine and help run your little ATM type business, you can do that. But there is a bit of a problem where it doesn't say how much is being charged in the fee. It just says how much the price of Bitcoins are. So I
think that's good. That's a good thing, because I don't want to know how much the fee is. I just want to know how much I'm paying for the Bitcoins.
Well, that's why if you ever look at a Skyhook and you're like, I wonder if this is updating properly, and it just says a price that happens to be above the market price, that's what it is. The fee is included already in the price. It's just not very transparent.
Well, I think in the future there will be so many competing Skyhook machines, you could just go down to the next store over and say, like, well, hey, they have it for $605. I don't want to pay $610.
Oh yeah, well, the price of these things is going to go down as well, presumably, and adoption. But while we're talking about the price, it's 15 minutes, it's 145, and the price is $564. Bitcoin has fallen again just this morning while we were talking about it. It used to be around 580s, 590s. So
wow, look at that dump. This must have been something we said.
Well, there's a lot of technical trading going on where these people have charts that tell them how to read the market, and the charts have told them that we might test 560, and I didn't want to say it until recently or yesterday or whatever, but here it is. We're at 564, so we are testing 560, and I guess if we go back in time to here, our last drop, which there's the date, it was around 625, so this is about a month ago, a month and 5 days ago. We're back to, that was 555 about a month and 5 days ago. And if we go back to 615, so just 10 days before that, we were also in the 550s. And if we go back 612 at the beginning of June, we're in the 550s. So basically, from our last big up of 683, we've tested 550 a couple of times, and it looks like we're going to test it again. So hold on. Yeah.
How's Mad Bitcoins doing?
Not good if the price of Bitcoin is going down.
Oh, okay. Well,
I negotiated a new deal with my credit card companies, and they're going to let me live another year. But it's neck and neck. It's a very close decision. So basically, if donations and Patreon accounts do not improve, Mad Bitcoins needs to get a job. So.
no, that will suck all your productivity away and send it to some machine.
Well, and it's going to be like desperation to get a job. So I'm going to have to work at Starbucks or something, or like maybe I can get a job at McDonald's. I have McDonald's experience. So
Wow.
I don't know. It's getting pretty.
I'm gonna just bring a video camera to wherever you decide to work, and you'll do episodes from your fryer. So okay, well, what's going on with World Bitcoin Network, or World Crypto Network?
Well, World Crypto Network, it's all happening on the Reddit. So let's just check out the World Crypto Network Reddit. And the main thing that's happening really is that Chris has kind of taken it on himself and started this new goal here to create a distributed autonomous organization. And one of the first ideas that Chris and Nick are working on is this idea to get open source software and the blockchain itself to regions that have poor internet connectivity. The idea is basically, if you take somewhere like Nepal, for an example, they do have internet now. Like, we can't do this if they don't have internet. But if they have rudimentary internet, like good enough to send transactions and good enough to update the blockchain, the idea is maybe we could bring them the blockchain, and then they'd have it, and then they could update it, and they could use it for transactions. So it would be a very cool idea for other parts of the world that have bad internet or just getting the internet. So we're working on that. I think the idea of the Bitcoin Roadshow is still being kicked around. If you're a company out there like BitPay or Coinbase and you want some Bitcoin ambassadors to maybe take a Skyhook Bitcoin ATM, take a Piper paper printer wallet, take them around, go town to town, get the small businesses really excited, get the Bitcoin meetups working together, and try to do some kind of like an evangelist roadshow. Like, they come into town, they have a meeting, they have another meeting on Wednesday, they have a party on Friday, a big party on Saturday, and basically each episode would be a TV show where we interview the people beforehand, they've never heard of Bitcoin, we interview them afterwards, they've heard of it, they accept it in their shops, they want to use it, and just a way of supporting the small businesses in small towns and helping them get Bitcoin.
What about your meetup group in California? I recently got an email from one of the meetup coordinators in Philadelphia that there's some huge expo happening. They wanted the Bitcoin Philadelphia meetup to be a part of it. I'm no longer in Philly, so my finger is no longer on the pulse. There's a Keen Bitcoin meetup, but they meet at a time when Peace News Now broadcasts, so I've never been a part of them, and they're doing fine without me. So what's going on with your Bitcoin meetup in California?
It's still very hard to get people going. We had a meeting a couple of weeks ago, and I demoed the Skyhook Bitcoin ATM, and I brought the paper wallet printer, the Piper, to the pizza place, and it actually went really well. I'll tell you the story while we've got a little time here. It's different. We'd met there 5 or 6 times. We kept coming back every other week, so the pizza guy kind of knows that we're the Bitcoin people. We wear the shirts, and this time was different because we had the Bitcoin ATM with us. And sure, it was plugged into the wall in a pizza place. It was very unofficial, and a demo machine, of course. And he came over and he wanted to try it out. He wanted to talk about Bitcoin, and he seemed really excited about it. He understood right away how he could use it instead of the credit card companies. He was definitely interested in BitPay's offer of having his money converted into fiat instantly and getting to transfer it to his bank account every day. I know he had some problems with the credit cards. If his receipts weren't in by a certain amount of time, he couldn't get them transferred, that kind of thing. And he was even willing and excited to go to the corporate people at Mountain Mike's Pizza. It's kind of a California, Nevada, smaller chain, and they have about 80 locations maybe, and maybe they could jump on this and be the Bitcoin pizza people. I even told him what a great advertising idea there is with the 10,000 Bitcoin pizza, and how pizza and Bitcoin have been together for a long time. And he was very interested. So having a Bitcoin ATM, having a paper wallet printer, they seem like props. Like, yes, you could do this on your phone. I could have given anyone $1 of Bitcoin on my phone. I frequently do. But having that ATM made it a little more official for him. And for anyone else, it's an object to look at. It's something to draw them in. What is that strange boxing machine. And I imagine Ian will have the same results at the county fair, don't you think? He'll get a lot of attention for the Skyhook.
This is the first day at the county fair with the new Bitcoin ATM, so we'll see the results probably this evening. He'll be broadcasting about it tonight on his show, Free Talk Live.
And definitely get excited, put $1 in. Encourage them to put the $1 in, just to give that a try. So.
But the problem is that people can't use this machine unless they have a wallet. That's my issue. Is like, do you give people a paper wallet, or what? Or does he need the Piper wallet thing now? He needs to be able to print reliable. What you got there?
This is the Piper wallet.
Okay, that's smaller than I thought.
I mean, part of the issue, if he had a bunch of pre-printed paper wallets, that would technically be okay, but if he wasn't an honest person, and I think he is an honest person, you could pre-scan all those paper wallets. Like, you could completely scam that thing. The other issue is that giving someone a paper wallet isn't really enough. They need instructions. They need instructions on how to go to blockchain and how to import their Bitcoins, how to get a new account. It's a pretty complicated thing if you really want them to.
His objection was that there's no satisfying, like, beep or anything that happens when you're finished. Like, if you're scanning a pre-printed paper wallet before you use the Bitcoin ATM, and then the money gets sent, it's just like, okay, the machine did something, it took my money, now what? I walk away with this piece of paper? That's not satisfying.
If you have a smartphone, and if it's all about teaching them Bitcoin, because I think paper wallets are the easiest way to teach Bitcoin, because you really get down to the public key, private key of cryptography. And we're really talking about the thing that encrypts emails, the thing that encrypts hard drives, the thing that encrypts your banking transactions through your web browser. So you can scan the public address and look it up on the blockchain, on blockchain.info. And it won't beep, but it'll show you that the money's been transferred there. And
so can you scan the public address right on the ATM?
not with the ATM, but with your cell phone. With your smartphone, you can just scan the address and then copy it and then paste it into blockchain.info.
It's too many steps. I gotta find some nice, easy way to bring Bitcoin to the masses. I think the county fair idea is a good step in the right direction. Having a Skyhook there that people can use is a good idea. Having candy, like you suggested, that people can buy and use on their phone, I think that's the way to go. Forget this paper wallet stuff. They're never going to need it. They're going to lose it.
And let's be clear on the candy. The candy is Bitcoin only. You have to have Bitcoin if you want this candy. We're not looking for a bunch of quarters. I'm not going to carry them all home. I'm not going to count them. I don't want pennies. Bitcoin candy. So.
Yeah, I like that. I like being clear on that I only accept Bitcoin. Because it's been that way for me for a long time. Oh, show us your Piper wallet.
Whenever you're ready. So, but yeah, so the Piper's ready. It puts out this little thing at the top when it's ready, because it has to kind of boot up. And it's only got one button. It's also got a remember and forget switch that I don't like. But what that means is that it'll store it onto a USB key. So if you have a USB keychain, and another idea is to sell these, and this is another good idea for fundraising. You can probably put a couple extra bucks on the sale price, is to sell them so they get a USB key with their backup copy on there, something like this USB key here. So just get one of these and get a whole bunch of them, get 5 or 6, and then sell them. So you can put it in there, and if I put this in here, it's going to copy that onto there, I think. So let's do that. That'll be fun.
So you're going to use the Piper wallet to create a new offline key pair of a public and private key, and then you're going to print that public and private key on a piece of paper and also save that to the USB drive that's plugged into the Piper wallet. Is that all right?
And I'm going to do it all by pushing one button. Let's see. It says, is it ready? What? Again.
Yeah, it should be ready. It looks ready. So what's it plugged into right now? Is it plugged into the internet?
Nope. It never, ever plugs into the internet. There's a new version that has a network cable, but I didn't want that. I wanted this old version that has no network cable. it has a port that goes to the television. So if you want to look at it, it's actually there's a whole computer in here. There's a Raspberry Pi. The last time I booted it up, I'm not sure why it's not going to print now, but
Did you plug it into the TV ever?
yep, it comes up like a computer. It's a whole Linux computer that comes up. Oh, I see.
What operating system does it use? What distribution of Linux?
Oh, it's tough to say. It just looked like generic XKD, K Windows or whatever, and it had all the various Linux options there. It only has one USB port, so you have to plug in a keyboard, unplug it, plug in the mouse, unplug it, plug in the keyboard. Unless it might use a USB hub, I'm not sure. I didn't test that, but it basically said unplugging and replugging was good. But the main options it had on the screen were things like if you wanted to print multiple copies of a key, if you wanted to change the default options to print more keys, that kind of thing. But I do realize why it had to reset when I changed the switch from remember to forget. It probably had to create some new randomness or something. So the green button is back on, and this is a one push. So you just push it once, and the machine starts generating random numbers and what have you. And then pretty soon it's going to print out the paper wallet. And I'm going to stop it before it shows the private key. But the first one is the public key.
You should just let the whole thing print.
Well, then they'll have my private key.
Yeah, but just don't use that one.
All right. So there it is, public key. And then the next part's going to be private key. So there it is. You can all own this Bitcoin wallet now. There it is, done. And then you just tear it right here. And a lot of people are worried about the quality of the ink or the quality of the paper, but it seems fine to me. You could also make a photocopy of this, but it's got the public key and it's got the private key, and it says Bitcoin, and it says what number of wallet this is, and that it's from piperwallet.com on the bottom. A little bit of branding, and it's got both the text of the thing and the QR codes, and load and spend. So the only thing I'd say is if I was the Piper people where it says Bitcoin, I might want to instead put instructions on how to use this. So instructions on how to import. Go to your blockchain.info, click on advanced, click on settings, click on import paper wallet, that kind of thing.
Right.
More information, because that's what they need. Is like you could give them one of these and you can teach them how to fold it in half, which makes it secure, so that you can just scan the public one. You can say, boom, put this on the skyhook. You hold that up to the thing, and then it puts your money in there, and you can teach. It's a really good teaching tool to show people that this half is the send me money, and this half is the spend the money. So you can send all you want, but if you want to spend, like to move it out of there, you have to have this other half. So.
Right. Yeah, they seem like a good idea to combine with the Skyhook machine. To be able to put a Piper wallet and the Skyhook together seems like a perfect marriage.
And I've suggested this to Skyhook as well, and I hope that they're going to work with the Piper paper wallet people and maybe even build this into their ATM in the next round. Who knows? It's something.
Can you show us what it looks like with the USB when you plug in the USB? What does it have in the what sort of file does it create?
Oh yeah, let's see. Probably.
I gotta know. I mean, this is something that I think could be very useful for a lot of people, especially with spreading adoption. If you can show them, like, hey, I put this secure wallet right on this USB. It's never touched the internet. It's got a key pair on there. This is your cold storage wallet. You could sell those sort of as a fundraiser. Like if Peace News Now could have on our website some sort of fundraiser, or if Bitcoin Talk Show would probably make a little more sense, but as a fundraiser for Bitcoin Talk Show, we could sell these preloaded USB drives that have cold storage wallets on them. Of course, that would require some trust in the people behind Bitcoin Talk Show, that we're not just making copies for ourselves, which I guess people would have to decide for themselves whether or not they want. It's essentially a donation, and you get something cool in return.
Well, this is pretty disappointing. It doesn't look like it put the key on the USB drive. So.
Did you have the switch set to remember or forget?
I thought I had it to remember. Well, maybe I need to turn it off and on again. I don't know. So here we go. I probably just pissed it off. I unplugged it. But it's set to remember. And Pretty sure my USB key is a standard USB. Nothing unique about that.
Well, while you're setting that up, I've got news to share. The Bitcoin Foundation at bitcoinfoundation.org has a whole new website. Check it out. What do you think? Our future begins with you. Join the movement.
Well, go ahead and click on that. Join the movement. Let's see if your reaction is the same as mine.
Join the movement.
That looks like a kid with a backpack there, right? Okay.
Yeah, it looks like a girl with a backpack in a foreign country. She doesn't belong here. It looks like a lot of people are dark around her, and she's very light. And then
she's an adventurer. She's a one person, right? Now, I wouldn't look at that and think corporation, would you?
No. Join the movement. The Bitcoin Foundation is the world's leading non-profit digital currency trade association. We believe that Bitcoin will help policymakers. 3, drive global business Bitcoin awareness. Learn about membership, our work, our priorities, corporate membership, individual membership.
Okay, well, fortunately, if you just scroll.
Oh, look, I can send them money.
Well, and then scroll. Yeah, fortunately, you clicked on individual membership, but if you just scroll down from the top, the very first category is not individual. Individual is all the way at the bottom. The very first category is like send us serious money. So there it is, silver.
So here I am at the very beginning. Our work, blah, blah, blah. This is what we've done. These are our goals going forward. How to join. All right, there's tiers. We got silver, gold, and platinum. That's it. That's all we got.
Silver, gold, and platinum. It seems like, I know they still offer individual membership, but they're making it very, look at this, the same box. There's no individual. Like, if you scroll to the bottom of the web page, it'll let the individuals join. But otherwise, this is a foundation for businesses. This is not for individuals, and that's not what that first graphic says to me. That's not what their redesign says to me. But look, silver, that's the same color as the individual ones. I mean,
wow, if you want to send the Bitcoin Foundation $25,000 a year, you can have a gold membership. You'll get 2 free passes to the Bitcoin 2015 conference, 7 days advanced purchase rights, and a booth. So this is for corporations. This is for people who have serious money.
Yep.
This isn't for individuals. Platinum membership, $100,000 a year. So also for a business. So yeah, individual membership makes a lot more sense. Of course, they're going to put it on the bottom. It's the least amount of money that they're going to get. Individuals matter the least. Annual membership, $25 a year. Lifetime membership, $250. That's a good price. And then what do you get for that? Early access and discounts, access to industry blah, access to executive blah, participate in the global Bitcoin community. Wow, I couldn't do that without this membership. And then exclusive lifetime members events at Bitcoin 2015. So it looks like if I'm a special member, if I pay them money, I get to go to special events at Bitcoin 2015. Pretty cool.
Yeah, very egalitarian, right?
Yeah, sure. Have you had any success with the Piper wallet in the meantime?
I've printed a second key, and I'm looking at my USB, but it's not there. So this is going to be back to the drawing board on the USB key situation. Maybe there's something weird about my USB key, but I am set to the remember switch, and I did put the USB in. I haven't really worked with the USB much, so this is disappointment. But just in general.
We got a question from Skype.
All right. What do they say?
All right, I just like plowed right into what you were talking about. What's the influence of the New York bit license for Europe? Like if I would sell a product to someone in New York, I assume this person is asking from Europe.
I'm not sure it's that. It's mainly about the people that live in New York. So if you live in Europe, it doesn't affect you that much. I know we were talking earlier about a possible...
It does, because you can't do business with people from New York.
Well, you can, but it might be illegal, I guess. Like, it's illegal...
Yeah, exactly. So that's the implication. That's what this guy's asking. So Tech Neil on Skype, there's your answer. Don't do business with people in New York anymore. They had their chance. They blew it. They want to live in New York anyway. the pizza and hookers are worth it, apparently, and they're just going to stick to it. So they should leave. Obviously, the writing's been on the wall for a long time. It's called the Empire State, and the empire is collapsing.
Very much. So you can check out the Piper paper printer wallet at piperwallet.com. They've recently changed their name to Cryptography, which I don't know is that great an idea. But
It's cryptography, man.
Yeah.
Cryptography. Why would they call it cryptography?
I don't know. It's a company name. They're writing on.
Piper Wallet changed their name to Cryptography?
Yeah. The company, they have a company now, and their company Cryptography is maybe they're getting bigger. I
liked it when it was just a YouTube video of some guy's hands just being like, "This is a tissue box that can print paper and old wallets." All right, so they look professional now. That's great. Good job, Piper Wallet. I want one. I want to put one next to our Bitcoin ATM from the Shire Free Church. It's pretty cool. Oh wait, you're sharing their website.
And here it is. The price has gone up a little bit. It used to be $200, now it's $230. But it's or 0.4 Bitcoin. Boy, that shows how we've fallen. It used to be like 0.22 Bitcoin or something. This is the new version with 2 USB ports and a totally unnecessary network port that I don't like. And
why don't you like the network port? You don't want the option to use this thing?
I don't want the option. Part of the beauty of this device is that it's never been on the internet, and I never want it to go on the internet. I like that it's a box.
Someone's gonna sneak into your house at night and plug your Piper wallet into the computer, and now it's touched the internet.
I just think there's no reason for it. It should never touch the internet. It should just be self-contained. I suppose maybe for updates they'd want that network cable, or maybe if you're using it as a computer, the Raspberry Pi inside with the USB keyboard and USB mouse, that would make sense. But just not crazy about it.
So Bjorn Vanovimier Bjorn says that you have to ask where your customers are located now if you're doing business, if they're in New York.
Which again, if you're buying something digitally, like you're buying a video game code from someone, and you live in New York, like you're a poor kid that has to live in New York and wants to play video games, you're just going to lie. Everyone's going to start lying. No one's going to say they're from New York. They're going to actually be from somewhere else. And eventually, like we talked about on another show, they're going to have to start banning all the IP addresses of people from New York State. New York State,
they shouldn't lie. Maybe they should just leave New York.
They should. There's still a chance. Or they should write Lawsky or write their congressperson. And
yeah, that's effective. That's really good work. Yeah, write your congressman.
Write them and tell them that you work for the banks.
Yeah. Yeah, he knows those envelopes. Those envelopes come with stacks of cash.
Yeah, maybe you should just put some extra paper in your envelope. Just cut up some nice paper and put it together for Lawsky.
Yeah, send him some paper wallets maybe, like the tipper did.
Yep.
So where do you want to go with this? We should wrap it up. We're past time. We're supposed to end at 5. It's 5:10 here on the East Coast. And Thomas, I got to go to a Bitcoin meeting. So
I got to go sing karaoke with Tatiana in San Francisco.
Get out of here. Is she doing a Tatiana coin thing?
I just think it's a thing. She's over on the West Coast. She's been doing a lot of concerts in San Francisco, and I think she's heading down to LA next week if you're in the LA area.
Man, I'm so jealous. No, I'm not going to be in the LA area next week. I'm in Keene in the Shire, and I love it here. But I hope you have a great time. That sounds like a blast. TatianaCoin.com, I think, is her website.
Yep, it should be good. I'm reminding everyone of the time that Jewel went on Funny or Die, and they dressed Jewel all up, and they had her sing her own songs, and she blew the whole karaoke room away. I figured it'll be just like that. Tatiana will just get up there with the voice. Aww. So it's going to be...
That's so cool. What a great way to end it. All right, well, this has been Bitcoin Talk Show. You can catch us at BitcoinTalkShow.com. If you've got questions you'd like to ask, submit them. at BitcoinTalkShow@gmail.com. We've also add us on Skype, and you can chat with us throughout the week. Check out the World Crypto Network, worldcryptonetwork.com, and as Thomas mentioned, there's a new Reddit page where all the discussion is happening. You can get the link there through our website, worldcryptonetwork.com. Should I take this call, Thomas?
Sure, go ahead. They won't let us leave.
The people won't let us leave.
Us at BitcoinTalkShow.com if you've got questions you'd like to
It's
ask.
us.
Oh, it's us again. Someone's listening. Hey, what's going on? You're on the BitcoinTalkShow.com. You get the final segment. Lead us out, caller.
As Thomas mentioned, there's a new Reddit page where all the discussion is.
All right. Apparently you can't hear us, so that's going to be it for our show. Callers, we don't screen your calls, so you're just going to have to make sure you've got it right the first time. We'll catch you next Wednesday. Peace.